I'm Mbonu C. Obiageli, and here goes Pedagogy, where I talk to you about social, political, and economic matters in the form of a 1,000-word essay to grow your mind. Subscribe and keep watching. The Igbos say that one does not watch a masquerade standing at one place only, and I have found variations of the fundamental truth of this adage in multiple cultures. Therefore, we all know that wandering from place to place is as old as man, and irrespective of your sentiments, it is a phenomenon that will never end as people will continue to engage the unknown. Perhaps this notion that the best view of the masquerade is from multiple perspectives is the reason behind the migratory tendency of humans. As a matter of fact, both the settler and the immigrant are partakers in the economic search for a better life. The only difference between them is the political time on the global economic clock they set out on their respective journeys, and the extent of legitimate violence they had the power to exert on natives. In the centuries when the borders of our worlds were fluid, men and women moved across continents with reckless abandon, and the settler emerged. And in today's world, with rigid borders, the immigrant is on the news as a fixation of national hate, a thorn in the flesh of all, an emblem of economic burden. However, from first principles, maybe we can all redraw the faint sketches of the remains of the modern-day immigrant image that has been shattered by the single narrative of helplessness, because the immigrant is anything but helpless. As evident, most migratory trends show origins from regions with lower development indicators to those with higher ones, and are driven by colonial ties such as language proficiency and religious similitude, which can enhance opportunity leads. Therefore, the immigrant's life is a testament of calculated ambition, the power to consider all facets of a life that is to be lived once, acquire these skills and allocate resources to fund these international standards, and then to compare and follow the path of highest reward. But as I often say, have we not lived in this world long enough to understand that nothing goes for nothing? Haven't you considered why these rigid borders mounted by the settlers were reopened in the last decade under different migratory schemes to welcome outsiders? There must be something structurally beneficial in it for them, and justifiably so. We find a hint in the numbers, as population growth and the age structure of the population are important determinants of the future of any country, and I dare say that the human capital and assets are the most important component of any production process. So, due to a declining and aging population and amidst all this immigration hostility, highly skilled immigrants are filling the labor gaps in several nations. Many of them even as mud seals, as their realities fail to match their expectations, their pigmentation a barrier to assimilation, their skills scrutinized for verifications, and their tongue unable to slur and bend. Nonetheless, the immigrant is a victim of her country of origin, with every child, every parent, every sibling generating abundant revenue for the country of destination in stacks of application fees, even with the possibility of rejection looming at the discretion of the immigration officer. Eligibility requirements sifting only the cream of the crop of the people to put them at the bottom of a new group. Families torn apart as each member navigates the pool of possibilities open to their line of work, one in Europe, another in the Americas, the other one in Australia, and the last one in Asia. 5 continents. We could all have been together on a beach in Accra drinking coconut water. The humanity of the immigrant completely obliterated by the neglect of her humanity. The immigrant thankful that she is let in and grateful that he is tolerated. Don't you know that there is no electricity at home? The settlers raging at what their countries have become. The countries they took from the natives with brute force in some cases. Immigration, the biggest news of our time. Every news channel, every politician, every academic paper, every fiction, reporting numbers, drafting policies, publishing studies, telling stories, some framing immigrants as leeches and others uncovering the truth about the host's need for human capital. A perfect case of quid pro quo. We know that everyone benefits. The immigrant and her new country are both beneficiaries of her presence. Even the country of origin profits through remittances from the immigrant, despite the high fees charged by the host country. Citizens of the host country still furious because the good old days are gone. Immigrants are everywhere, yet the genuinely good old days are before the conquistadors ever set sail for any of their plunders. The immigrant's gratefulness wearing off year after year because all the work he puts in does not still justify his presence. He knows he deserves to be here. He has earned the right to a decent treatment, but it is not anywhere close. A sense of pride wells up in him daily, urging him that this is not enough. This is not the better life. He has seen the masquerade from this angle, and this is not where he wishes to stand, because there is more to life than money. So, it makes sense, and it is not surprising that our world is on a path of global fragmentation, as both the immigrant and the host are tired of the arrangement. All this revealing that we are so close, yet so far. So enlightened, yet so unreasonable. So religious, yet so unkind. But even more revealing is the incontestable need for the immigrant's country of origin to meet the standards that uncover the view of the masquerade from very many angles, equipping him with the power of choice. Since both globalization and deglobalization are alternating faces of the coin of economics, it is human needs that unlock either of the two at certain times and seasons. Immigration is then only worth it for the immigrant if she's empowered with respectable choices, and the confidence of choice is in the multitude of options. At the center of these options should then be the undisputable assurance that home works too. Ultimately, the borders are tightening, the curtains are shutting, the gates are closing. Where do we go from here? Home